So let's start with the chaos part. We're already seeing a little bit of this, right? When I thought about doing this, I thought, oh, well, I'm going to go, my lab has a repository of the risks that AI is posing. And trying to understand, okay, if you're a business or an organization trying to deal with AI, okay, what comes up? And one of the things we can do is we can look at particular types of risk and we can say, what are the incidents we're already seeing coming up in the news? Well, we see some very sad moments of chaos, right? In Uttar Pradesh, we have a car going off a space where a bridge used to be. But it turns out that the map that it was based on, that the car was self-driving on, just didn't have the fact that the bridge had been washed away. And so some people died. Very sad. We also see some cases where, well, people did have command of the AI, but unfortunately they didn't use it for good. So this is a case where a Mumbai businessman was defrauded by being called and using a deep fake to report to be his son, report to be somebody from the embassy, trying to get him to give over 80,000 rupees. Okay, so we are already seeing some chaos. But maybe what's surprising about this, given that how much we see AI in the news, is that we don't see more chaos. And the question is why? Right? Why haven't we seen this? And the simple answer is, so far we haven't had it because these systems have just not been capable enough to get to that level. Okay, so let's unpack that a little bit together. So the first thing to understand is that AI really is a big departure from traditional IT systems that we've had, right? So if you think about some sort of thing of some kind of tasks that you might want to do and how well these different systems can do, you can think of traditional IT, something like Excel, right? For Excel, there's some things it does really well. If you ask Excel to multiply some numbers, it's going to be perfect at getting that. And if you ask it, what shall I have for dinner tonight? It's not going to be very good. But with AI, you get a different pattern, right? If you ask AI to multiply some numbers together, it will usually get it right, but not always. So it's a little less good. But if you ask it what to have for dinner, it will often tell you, something. Maybe a good answer, maybe a bad answer, right? But it will give you an answer. Now, it turns out that this distinction matters a lot. Because for a traditional IT system, the fact that you have this area where it's basically 100% correct means that you can stack these systems one upon another, right? So you can gather some data, you might put it in a database, you might do a query of that, all of those kind of things. You can put them one on top of another, and you get 100% and 100% and 100% and so on. Well, what happens if you take an AI system that isn't perfect and you stack it one upon the other? Well, the problem is these errors are going to stack as well. Right? And I call this the idea of AI's garden of branching paths. So think about this as like the AI starts when you ask it for some particular thing, right? And one of these paths is going to lead it to the right answer, and a lot of these paths are going to lead it to the wrong answer. And each time it gets to a branch, it has to make some decision, some internal calculation to say, this is the right answer to your problem. Well, of course, the more times you have that branching, the more likely it is to go off on the wrong path and give you the wrong answer.